So that, oh, go ahead, Thaddeus.
Yeah, I just wanted to raise one quick point here, and that's Allah's Deen's claim was that Jews were saying this before the Muslims came, before, and then we asked him for a specific rabbi, and he cites someone who's living
Tovia
now.
Singer is not in the first 10 centuries. That's why I asked
And
that
it's certainly not
question.
in the
Yeah,
first 6 centuries or seven
yeah,
centuries, if you
exactly.
want to be
Yeah,
generous.
yeah.
So we need you either have to drop the claim that rabbis were saying this before the Muslims came, or you have to provide us some evidence that they were.
So can I speak now? I don't know why the host muted me for a while or for no reason. And I've been listening to you. I did not interrupt anybody. So can I speak, please,
Yeah,
freely
go for it.
without no interruption? Thank you very much. First of all, Mr. Rapp, don't put words in my mouth. I never said Old Testament. I was referring to the Tanakh. So I said you corrupted the Jewish Tanakh. I didn't say the Old Testament. So please pay attention to the words that comes out of my mouth, because the Jewish Tanakh is different than what you have in your hand and you call the Old Testament. You spoke about the Masoretic. Please don't interrupt me. Be patient with me as I was patient
All
with
right,
all.
all right, all right.
No one
Okay.
said anything.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him. When you want to speak, I can see his face. You can relax. So relax and just listen, please. Now, you spoke about the Masoretic text. There are several versions of the Masoretics, and they are different from one another. They do not even agree with one another, and they have contradictions with one another. You spoke about the Septuagint as well. You have also 4 different versions of the Septuagint, and they are different from one another. They don't look alike because they don't have any manuscript for it. I'll give him to you, like Aquila version, like Symmachus version, Theodosian version, and Origen version. Those are 4 different versions of the Septuagint, and they are different from one another, and there is a lot of differences in between of them because there is no any manuscript for the Septuagint. That's in regard of the what you called about Masoretic and Septuagint. Now, after that, you spoke about the Jewish text. I'll give you some examples that the Jewish brought up where they showed that you as a Christian missionary corrupted the Jewish text. Give you one example. For example, if you read what you call prophecy about Jesus in the Jewish Tanakh, Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, it says in Hebrew, Lichem yetim hashim holechem osin ho alma, horoyeldes bifikoros shimo Emmanuel. What is important for me is ho alma. Lichem yetim hashim holechem os, hini ho alma. Ho alma was used in the Jewish Tanakh several times. And when you translate it to your Old Testament, you translate it correctly as young woman or maiden. And you read that in Proverbs chapter 30, verse 19. It says a young woman. You read this in Genesis chapter 24, verse 43, Psalm 68, verse 25, Song of Solomon chapter 1, verse 3, Song of Solomon chapter 6, verse 8. You translate it correctly. But once it comes to the verse in Isaiah 7:14, you change the word ho alma to Betullah. Betullah is virgin. And according to Ben Yahud, the Hebrew English Dictionary, and other English dictionary, they translated the word ho alma as young woman, virgin or not. It doesn't say virgin. Even the word virgin was mentioned in your Bible several times, and you translated in your Old Testament correctly, like in Isaiah chapter 23, verse 4, chapter 23, verse 12, chapter 37, verse 22, chapter 47, verse 1, chapter 62, verse 5. You translated here, Isaiah was well aware, Isaiah himself was well aware of the true meaning of Alma and Betullah. So therefore, he used the word Betullah in those verses for virgin. Now, why did you change the word Alma or Ho Alma, as I said in Hebrew? Lechem yetem hashim ho lechem os hine ho Alma. Why you change it to Betullah?
We
Look into the
didn't.
Jewish. Let me finish, please. Let me finish, please. Now,
You
You
asked a
mean not
question. I
Betula?
answered
You
you.
mean Parthenos, not Betula. If you're sticking with the Septuagint.
no. I said Betullah. I don't say it's Betullah and Ho Alma. And I've read you the verse in Hebrew. You want me to read you the verse
Yes,
again in
but no
Hebrew?
You're
Christian is
supposed.
saying
You're
Betu.
supposed to. You're supposed to be telling us how Christians corrupted the text. You're now arguing that your evidence for us corrupting the text is that we mistranslated a word. evidence that Christians had corrupted the text, not the meaning, the text. Do you know the difference between the text and the meaning?
Okay. Now, I will teach you now what is the difference between translation and version, so you know what is the difference between the text and the meaning. Listen to that. According to Oxford Dictionary, according to all Western Dictionary and all other English dictionary, they said the difference between translation and version is this. If you translate a word from a language to another, or any book from a language to another, without no add, delete, or change in the meaning of the word, you get yourself 100% translation. But if you change, add, delete in the meaning, you get yourself a new version. So when you change the original word Ho Alma from Hebrew language, which means the young woman, to Betullah, which means virgin, as you said in all your versions of the Bible, you change the word Ho Alma to Betullah.
We didn't change the word. You are okay. First of all, you're wrong about the meaning of those two words. They both have a wide semantic range. They both can mean virgin, and they both can mean a particular class of young women.
Can you give me source, please? That both men have the same meaning. Can you give me any source, please? Any Jewish?
I didn't say they have the same meaning. I said that they have a semantic range that overlaps.
After this, I'll share the semantic range.
Yeah.
In a moment.
So, great. Rob has it ready to go. We'll look at what he has to say. But that's actually not important. Even if Christians have misunderstood what that means, and let's just say for the sake of argument, intentionally mistranslated it into English, that's totally irrelevant. This is actually what the Quran claims, that we are misunderstanding our own text. What you're arguing is that we're misunderstanding the text, or we're purposely misrepresenting what the text says. What you actually need for the Muslim position today to be true is for us to have changed the text. You actually need evidence that we changed the Hebrew manuscript. We crossed out one word and we put in a different word. You tried to change the argument and hoped we wouldn't notice. You no longer were talking about corruption of the text. You made an irrelevant point about there being multiple different versions of the Masoretic text, and then you just tried to subtly slip in this argument about us mistranslating a word as if they were the same thing. They're completely different things. You're not even making a consistent argument, and I don't appreciate the word games. This is what you do every single time you're on one of these streams. You try to talk with a slick tongue, hope people won't notice that you're not making a logically valid argument, that you're jumping from point to point so quickly that people might miss it. And that's what pisses me off. Not the argument you're making. Please, if you want to make both those arguments, fine. But you can. No, I'm finishing my point. If you want to make both those points, fine. You could have made both those points, but they're unrelated arguments, and you tried to put them together. And when I said that we didn't change the word, you quoted Oxford Dictionary as if that has anything to do with whether the manuscript was changed.
Okay. I think that point has been completely destroyed.
Excuse me. No. If you mute me again, I'm out.
Okay. If you're
no. Don't kick him out. I want him to see this.
So I won't say anything else. I'll let Rob speak.
Stop talking over people. Yeah. You're getting muted because you're talking over people. You lied to me at the beginning when you said you would follow the rules, and you disregarded them as soon as you said them. You have a twisted tongue.
And I promise I won't say anything else because I do want to let Rob. I could have done it too, but I'd like Rob to do the semantic range because I'm upset at Allah's laws.
I am out. Thank you very much.
No. Don't go. I want to show you something. I want to.
Apologize
to run away.
Hey, Aladdin, if I sign off, will you stay on? If I sign off, will you stay on? Because you have a problem with me, not with anyone else in the stream.
No. Apologize for being so emotional and for muting me, so I'll stay with you, please. If you don't know.
Well, I can't apologize for something I didn't do. I didn't mute you.
No, you were so emotional, you were mad. The host muted me for
Okay, let's just...
No.
Aladdin, I'm gonna present my argument. I'll just show you something.
Aladdin, I will apologize to you. I will apologize to you because I am a bigger person than you. He just left. He demands I apologize. I was going to apologize even though I didn't do anything wrong, and then he leaves. This is the game he plays every single time. He tries to manipulate words. He tries to manipulate arguments, and then when you call him out on it, he says, "You're being unfair to me. Blah, 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 blah. I'm out of here."
It's very clear he doesn't have any honor, plain and simple. And he has displayed that quite clearly.